Jason with Lester River Bushcraft in Duluth, Minnesota. Today I'd like to take the time to do a video on using a cold steel trail hawk. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because of a couple of guys that are posting here on YouTube that have gotten me to think outside the box with tools that I already had owned, some modifications I could do to them, and some different things you can do with them so to utilize all of the versatility that there really is with a tool like this. First of all, I'd like to thank Iowa Woodsman for the modifications, which are, I made a sheath for the head, I stripped the paint off of it, and I got rid of the Allen screw, and I did drill a lanyard hole in mine. Now, I drilled the lanyard hole in it not as to utilize it as a traditional lanyard, but to be able to take a piece of cordage and string this and actually use this as my bow to start a friction fire. I got the idea from doing that from Mr. Black with Operational Extras on his channel, and this guy's got some really good videos on thinking outside the box and using tools that are in your kit for maybe some things that you didn't think of using them for. He took a Tom Brown tracker knife with a Kydex sheath and actually strung it and used that to start a bow drill fire. So I'm going to take and I'm going to show you close up how to string this up. Then I'm going to unstring it. I'm going to go ahead and split up some wood like you would for a one stick fire. Then in the second part I'm going to set this up and I'm going to start and try to bust a coal out using this as my bow with my fire bow. But first I'm going to tie this up. Now I drilled a hole in the end. You could use a variety of different knots for this. What I chose to use is a bowline. As it's under tension, it's easily untied. It's a knot that I use quite frequently, so that's what I'm choosing. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. And then on the other end of it, now you can start a bow drill fire using a straight stick. The bow itself is actually irrelevant because when you wrap your spindle, you have your spindle towards the outside, which you'll see in close-up when I do start the fire with it. But now on this end, I'm going to tie around the hawk along the hammer pole here. I'm going to use an inline prusik hitch, which is basically a taunt line hitch, and this will allow you to adjust your length, being you don't have any flex in this like you would with a bow and a green stick when you're doing you need to be able to adjust this and get the right tension on here so you can. So what I use is that inline prusik knot, and that was a Midwest Native Skills Institute video on progressive skills approach way of starting friction fires. I highly recommend any of the stuff that those guys do. Their videos are fantastic. It's actually how I learned how to do friction fires, was watching those videos. So I'm going to tie that inline prusik on here, and this is going to be hard to see in the camera. So I'm going to try. You basically come over and you're going to go over and through and over and through, and then when you come back under, you're going to go under and through and under and through. Then you'll see, and I don't know if you can see that or not, I'm trying to do the best I can here while filming this by myself, but that's your inline prusik knot. Now, this way you're giving yourself some gap here, which I find makes it a little bit easier. The less friction that you have in this area, the better. You're trying to generate friction on the bottom side, minimize it on the top side with the handhold. So this is essentially how it'll be set up, and you can take the extra and just wrap it. But I'm going to go ahead, we're going to split up some wood, and then I'm going to put this thing to use and try to bust a coal out using this as my bow. Now this is just rewind cord. 550 cord works fine. I find rewind cord, if you're going to keep it in your kit, I prefer it. It's not as slippery, it doesn't stretch as much, and by the nature of what it was intended for, it's very highly abrasive resistance. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to untie this for right now. I'm going to split some stuff up, and then we'll go ahead in the second part of this video and try to bust a coal out. everybody, I'm Jason with Lester River Bushcraft in Duluth. Again, I want to thank Iowa Woodsman and Mr. Black, Operational Extras. Fantastic stuff. Check out both of those guys. Works pretty good. Just one more thing you can use your Trailhawk for. Thanks.